Hello, guys. Hopefully, people can hear me. There we go. There we go. Anybody? Hello. Oh, how you doing, guys? Gonna get going here in a second. As soon as I delete the beginning of the live. There we go. Yeah, it just had to see the. It just had to see it. Um, yeah. It just had to see the microphone. It's a PC. It's built broken, so you gotta you gotta fix these things. You gotta optimize. You gotta optimize. There we go. There we go, guys. Good to see you guys again. I appreciate it. Um, if you would like to donate, yes, I know, guys. You just gotta refresh. If you'd like to donate to getting better gear, this is a good way to give me it. This is a good way to tip. That's fine. Anyway, there we go. There we go, guys. Yes, I know, guys. You couldn't hear. I know you couldn't hear. Anyway, yes, you can hear me now. Fantastic. I don't know why it just didn't recognize the microphone. I'm doing a different setup today, and it was a little bit ad hoc. There we go. Back again. No, I have not seen any of the old school asks. People ask that I repeat the questions in the video, and I will do my best. Hello, Area 51. Hi, Dave. Have you seen the Scalextric specific releases from Scalextric? Yes, I have in the pictures, just like you guys. Those are the Scalextric releases will not be seen outside of Australia. Why is that? Because Scalextric make cars specifically for certain markets, and in Australia, those cars are the Australian special release cars are bought entirely by the Australian distributor and are not allowed to be sold anywhere else. So are not allowed to be sold by Scalextric anywhere else. So if you see those releases and you want them, buy them. They don't officially get sent to the U.S. They only there might be some available through the gray market. So when you see Australian only releases from Scalextric that are for sale here in the U.S. or on U.S. websites, they are for sale here because someone has bought them in what's called the gray market, and they've imported them, and they're being for sale here then. Hello, guys. How you doing? Ah, yes, you found me. Sound is out of sync. Nothing I can do about that, guys. Just relax. We'll deal with it. Don't worry. It's not the end of the world. Yes, Pendle Slot will get the releases, but like I said, they're importing them gray market, so they technically get them from Australia, and then they bring them back into whatever market. There we go. Yeah. Old school asks, and why hasn't Carrera and Scalextric catered more to the serious racer? Because there are few serious racers, and there are more just regular folks that want to play with their kids. So why would they cater to the serious racers? They have no history of making, performance cars like the NSR cars we're going to talk about and slot it and things like that. They can't be everything to everybody. They have no one on staff that does that kind of racing. Basically, they don't have the parts developed for that. They don't want to develop the parts for that, and the market is far too small. So if you want to buy a serious race car, slot car, there are plenty available. You're never going to get them from Scalextric and Carrera. You have to know. Um, I like kung fu movies. So do I. So do I. Who else asked the question here? Sound is good. Good to hear. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, I know the video's a little out of sync with the sound. Please, if someone new comes in and says, "Hey, Dave, the video's out of sync," just reply to them so I don't have to keep repeating it. I'm sorry. This is I wanted to get a better quality video stream today, and the stream quality looks really good today. I wanted to plug in my good streaming camera to my laptop, but I couldn't because didn't want to do it wirelessly. So I'm trying to get everything organized here. I don't do the best. I know. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Bear with me. Garth asks, Dave, do you know when or if Polycar will have lane changer that can be used for RS34? I don't know what RS34 is. I'm sorry. You mean a lane changer with digital? I think they are working on a lane changer that works with Ninco digital for Polycar, but I don't know when those things will be released. Haven't really heard much from Polycar slot it in the last probably 2 months. So your guess is as good as mine. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Canyon slots. Yes. Yeah. I know, guys. Just let's not keep on going on with this about the sound. I'm sorry. It's annoying, but just please don't. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Today, we are going to talk about the Scalextric C8R that is coming. The Scalextric C8R, from what I'm told now, is going to be in the UK maybe at the end of this coming week, maybe, or the following week after that, or maybe the week after that here in the US. So in the US, I'm expecting the Scalextric C8R to be available by the end of, what is it, the 6th? It'll be available by the end of this month, by the end of March. That's what I'm told. That's when it's scheduled to come into the US. To the UK market, to the English market, the Scalextric C8R will be there within the next probably week to 2 weeks. That's what I'm told. So you're hearing it here first, folks. Can I show the bottom of that? Absolutely. There you go. There's the bottom of the car, and it's actually reasonably in focus. So yeah, there you go. It's the Corvette chevrons on the bottom. It's a flat chassis inline car with a standard S-can motor. There is a DPR door, as you see. I've run this car and this is a prototype. Evidently, because I got this months ago, and it's still not for sale yet. I've run this car a lot. This car is fast and smooth and really, really nice. Where did I get the Falcon shirt? I got the Falcon shirt. It's a Porsche team shirt. I got this years ago when I was covering the American Le Mans series at Lime Rock, and the Falcon team was selling the shirts. Actually, that's where I got the Falcon team Porsche poster. That was signed by the guys as well, by the race team. They were all there. And voice is cutting out. I don't know what to tell you, Jim. My mic is on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a cool shirt. And then the Porsche, I got that from Flying Lizard, and then this one I got from Corvette, and the Corvette team signed. Yeah. So anyway, so what else do we have? I had mentioned this before. The Scx cars are available at LEB She has a whole bunch of cars in stock from SCX. They're new cars. They have the faster motors in them. So you see that's basically like a Scale motor, and cars are nice and fast, nice and smooth. They have lights. On average, they're cheaper than a Scale car now, cheaper than a Carrera car now as well. So you're going to be able to get. She has all the latest SCX cars. You're going to be able to see them and get them anytime now. Okay, so Neil Guerrero asks, can you tell me why select car companies don't produce many street versions of cars? Yes, because street cars don't really sell that well. When I was with Scale, or when I was with Carrera, rather, we would sell 2 to 3 times more of a race car than we would a street car. And, people like, if people want a Corvette, they're more likely to want this racing Corvette than they are street car of this car, because they want to play with the race car of this car. That's the short explanation. Oh yeah, Richard, great. Linda at Slotty's got all the SCX cars. Fantastic. Are there any SCX cars with Sidewinders? No, they're all inline. Most of the home set companies, I guess, except for a couple Scale cars, are inline. Very few of them are Sidewinder. But these guys, I got all 3 of the recent Martini AMG Mercedes, as you see. Got these guys from, there we go, from LEB. And I'm going to do a video probably. I'm off tomorrow from work, obviously. So I'm going to be doing a video. Probably, I think I'll take the silver car out and going to do some laps with that guy. And yeah, these cars, I really like this trio of cars. I asked Lynn to send me the Sidewinder version, as you see. So all 3 of these are all Sidewinders. I don't know. I like Sidewinders. I also like the small can in cars. So yeah, I asked her to send me the Sidewinders. And because I do consulting work for LEB, and LEB is the Canadian distributor for NSR, she sent me some samples of these cars. So, yes, I agree. Highway 2 slot. The C8R from Scale would be a serious car with a 3D chassis underneath. Once this car comes out, I'm going to buy another one because I don't really want to destroy this one with testing. I'm going to buy another one once the car is actually released, and do a full build on one. Do like a racing build with some slotted or NSR parts, maybe. See how fast I can get one of these going. So, Ray asks, are there new SCX motors available for purchase? Not yet, Ray. The new SCX motors will be available for purchase. They will be available for purchase from the 3 SCX dealers that are there now. I have to talk with SCX about an addition to this year's catalog. I believe this week SCX will have this year's catalog available, and if they do, I'm going to do a video about it, and you'll see it here and all over Facebook as well. Blue Goo, I saw that Blue Goo says, reading the questions here. Blue Goo says, I saw that LEB has Scale Auto now. How do they compare to NSR? Very favorably. They compare to NSR. They compare to Slotted. I have a couple. Have maybe 1 or 2 Scale Auto cars. She's going to be getting me some samples. Lynn at LEB is going to be getting me some samples of the Scale Auto cars as well, and I'll put them on my track, do a video about them as I'm able to. And I think you'll see. I mean, they're fast cars. They have a pod. They have excellent metal parts. Everything's fully adjustable. Very lightweight bodies. I mean, they're very, very, very similar to an NSR, a slotted, a sideways. It's a modern, fast, hobbyist quality car. So if you like the cars, LEB bought a number of the cars that Scale Auto had available and brought them over from Spain. So if you like those cars, try one out. They're definitely worth the money. Definitely good quality cars. You're not going to go wrong with those cars. Yes, they do have 3 different series. Exactly. Yep. Yes, folks. Please, if you're watching and you like the content, the delay notwithstanding, please hit the like button. I do appreciate it. So who? Any other questions here? $200. Hey, Argonaut. $200 for the Lola T70 Penske. Really? On eBay, I assume. Hello, Brad. Yeah, I hadn't seen the Thunderslot car. I assume you're talking about. You ask. It sounds like a pretty high price on a Penske. Probably the Thunderslot, I'm assuming. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for showing up. And oh, by the way, I had taken a bunch of pictures of this car. This is the NSR. This is the Stroka Racing Car. She has a bunch of these. I think there's a gray one, maybe with orange on it. There's definitely a black one with orange on it. That one I really liked. I really like the green. I like something that stands out like that. I like the combination of black and green. These things have been flying off the shelf since I showed them in a photo or two. And if you like these cars, this car's a little bit older. It's the same configuration. There's no quality difference in the build on this car, even though it's a slightly older car. She has a couple of these left. So if you're interested in these cars, you definitely want to check them out. Get them from LEB because they are moving like hotcakes from what she says. Yeah, I like the color. Alien color, exactly. Yeah, they look really, really good. So, yes, Blue Goo, there's both NSR and Scale Auto with basically the same color combinations. I don't know, exactly which one would be the fastest. I know both NSR and Scale Auto offer really excellent quality, really excellent. The parts are there, the nice rubber tires. The parts, I mean to say, are really, really high quality. These are not like a low quality car. They're not like a basic home set kind of a car. They're even the more basic ones that that Scale Auto does make with no pod are still really high quality cars. So, I mean, you really cannot go wrong with any of the cars. They're really, really excellent quality. Yes, exactly, Mark. Just like a Patron car, it's just like. Do I have that car around here? No, I do not. I had a picture of it, but that's gone away. Sorry. Yes. So what did we talk about? Was the MGB a good seller? Absolutely not. That's probably one of the worst selling slot cars you can probably imagine for the U.S. market. That's not a great car at all for the U.S. market. So what did we have? What did we have this week? We had the NSR McLarens. Now there would be yes, exactly. YouTube starts screaming at me. We had 2 Fly 911s that were shown this week. Now someone asked, well, one of them was the Marlboro livery. Yes, I believe this was the running mate to a special edition that I think was available only for Crick Crack or maybe 4.0 slot. So I believe the Marlboro livery of the car that I showed. You can see all these cars in my latest video. I can't show them now. Well, actually, I can show them now. There you go. There it is. See? How does that look? Oh, it looks terrible. Whoa, no, 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 no. Back, back, back. There you go. There's the car. We're doing this on the fly, folks. Yes, because that's how we do around here. How do we look now? Good enough. Yeah, so that car is coming fairly soon from Fly. And then this car, again, doing this on the fly, this car is coming from Fly also soon, but I believe that that is a special edition only for Crick Crack, and that's going to be coming. It's going to be only available from Crick Crack. So, oh yeah, I see Manuel. Yes, okay. So Manuel, I'll get to that question in a second. So, also this week, we had the NSR McLarens coming that are being shown, the plain kind of body in color club racing versions of the car that are, going to be more reasonably priced because it's not the special bespoke car that the first edition of the McLaren was. So those McLarens, I assume, are going to be coming within the next couple weeks here to North America, let's say. Got to be careful who I say is bringing them in. So those McLarens, the 720S, I believe will be maybe sometime in the next 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 at the outside. Normally when you see NSR releasing pictures of cars, those cars generally come within a couple weeks, and then we get them here in North America. And yeah. Yes, Garth, no problem for the compact test video. You're welcome. So Manuel Nunez asks, Dave, do you know why brands don't sell models again from with a lot of success? Manuel is asking about the VW Scale Polo. The secondhand price on the car is 150 pounds, or 150 euro rather, 3 times the sale price. Yes, why don't they re-release cars? Because they've already made them once. Cars, generally speaking, are not made again because of that collector price. They'd piss off collectors and dealers that may still have them in stock, and they don't want to resell a car that is already sold out. Why would they resell a car that's already sold? It's just adding in another old car back into a catalog just really doesn't make a lot of sense. So just because a car is expensive, on the secondhand market doesn't mean that if they re-release it, the car would sell well again. It's not really how supply and demand works. But there you go. A Christmas treat. Yes, I guess so. Okay, so that's what was in the news this week. What else have I seen? I guess the only other thing was the Scale C8R. I got word from Scalex that it's coming, like I say, in March at some point. So March has only got about 3 weeks or so left in it. So I would expect we'll get that car within a couple weeks. No problem. Leslie asks, which car should they make to attract younger hobbyists? So they would have to do, slot car companies to attract young people would have to do market research to see what cars young people are interested in. If they're not interested in a C8 Corvette, would they be interested in a Lamborghini or some Maserati maybe, or a Bugatti, or I don't know what? It would have to be, it's not so much the products that's the problem. It's the marketing that's the problem. When you're trying to attract a broader audience, you need to have marketing that broad audience can see. That is profoundly expensive. Here in the U.S., I've done campaigns where we when I was with SCX, we did it was about a $10,000 spend or $12,000 spend on TV commercials that we ran in the Chicago area. You can basically tailor ad campaigns by specific regions. There's a number of companies that you can go through to buy ad time on certain channels and in certain markets. So you don't have to do. I mean, a national campaign is obviously out of the question. There's no way for the slot car companies to do national advertising in the U.S. What channel do they put it on? When do they put it on? What show do they put it on? All of this stuff costs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is no way that they make that money back. I mean, even Hot Wheels doesn't do advertising. Oh, they do once in a while, but it's just the U.S. market is just not that big to introduce a product into it that you have to educate people what is a slot car, right? You can't just advertise slot cars and people immediately know what they are and they know where to buy them and they know what the product is, so they know that they might want to play with it. You have to do a lot of education because we've lost generations of slot car racers because adults didn't show slot cars to their kids. It's not the kids' fault that they don't know what slot cars are. They can find slot cars on YouTube. People that know about slot cars are generally older. If an older person hasn't shown a kid what a slot car is, the kid doesn't know. It is not the kid's fault if they don't know what slot cars are. It is the fault of adults who didn't play with their kids, who didn't get kids interested in that kind of toy, who just put them in front of a TV for the last few generations and let them, and then the kids got interested in video games. And now, people in the hobby industry are wondering why all kids are interested in video games. Well, video game companies spend a lot of money to make video games really good and really interesting. Slot car companies haven't spent a lot of money to make the whole world of products available that kids might be excited about. Slot car companies have cut down and cut down and cut down what's in a slot car set, so they don't even put freaking borders or fence in most slot car sets. Yes, I know some slot car companies do, most don't. This is not a discussion. The slot car companies have done a terrible job of marketing to hobbyists or marketing to kids in markets. I'm looking at you, England. I'm looking at you, Germany, where I'm looking at you, Spain, where kids might already know kind of what slot cars are. But in the US, slot cars stopped being a mass market thing in the 70s when most parents had to work out of the house and kids got essentially babysat by TVs. So, like when I was growing up, I had a slot car set, a Tyco slotless set. But then we moved to the country, we moved to Pennsylvania, and you can't get slot cars in most toy shops. And now there are not even any toy shops in the town that I live in. There's nowhere to buy toys except Walmart, Target. Toys R Us is gone. Now we've lost our Best Buy. Best Buy had a whole aisle of toys. So, I've done a lot of research on this. I've done a lot of thinking about why slot cars aren't more popular. This is one of the reasons. Commercial tracks. And commercial track people don't like when I say this. I don't give a shit. Commercial tracks also drove the slot car market out of the homes in North America. How do I know this? Because if you're trying to sustain the slot car business that you built up at a commercial track, what is that business built on? Logic tells us the business is built on people coming to the track, spending money on cars, spending money on track time, spending money on whatever refreshments at the track. It is not spent on, and home set or commercial tracks do not want to buy home sets because they don't want someone buying a slot car set, going home to use it. They want them coming back to race at the commercial track. And this is the only place that slot cars have sustained themselves since the 70s. I mean, you just put these steps together logically and you figure out what happened here in the US, here in North America, to the slot car market. The only place really where you could have gone in the last 40 or 50 years to see a slot car is where? It's a commercial track. Why would commercial tracks buy home sets and, have somebody stay at home to play with their toys? They wouldn't. Duh. It's simple logic. I see there's been a whole lot of questions. I'm going to get to those, to people saying I'm wrong, because I'm not, but I'm willing to talk about it. Almost no commercial tracks these days, Michael McKinney says. Almost none. There's still got to be a few hundred in the U.S., though. So in many there's several in my area. So they may not advertise the best, but there's still plenty around. There's a commercial track about 45 minutes from my house. There's a commercial track in Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area. There's a commercial track in Connecticut that I know about, in the suburbs of New York City. So RC is more popular. Yes, it is. And the radio control folks do a really good job of marketing, of doing events, and you don't need to put a track down. You can just buy a radio control car and go play with it outside. Slot cars have a lot of limitations to them. That's another problem here in the US, is that a lot of people live in apartments more so than they used to. So people don't have houses. People tend to move more. So putting a slot car track down, it's a temporary thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt having a temporary track put down on the rug. Everybody knows that. So, that's another strike against home set slot car tracks, is that it's difficult to have a home set slot car track here in the US unless you have a dedicated area for it, right? So, John, no problem, John. Yes, you're right, Canyon. But so kids do want to play with what their friends are playing with, but kids also want to play with a tactile little toy. They want to play with little people. How can you not? Hey, it's even focusing. Hot damn. Wow, look at that. Is it focusing again? Not really. Well, whatever. They want to play with little people. I mean, consider them little dolls. I really don't care. I'm over people making fun of me for playing with little cars or little people, little action figures, whatever you want to call them. I don't give a damn. So kids will play with, plenty of kids play. Area 51 says Hot Wheels. Plenty of kids play with little other toys. They will play with slot cars if they know about them. I did my best for years to get out and do events here in the US. In Canada, I've done quite a few. The problem is, where do you do marketing events? That's the real issue. When you try to do a marketing event at a racetrack, the racetrack is going to charge you for space. They're going to charge you for power. They're going to charge you for a rental tent. They're going to charge you for water. They're going to charge you for parking. So you have to make so much money. Here's a story for you. I talked with a guy one time who did a traveling track, and maybe you all have seen this. If you've been to a NASCAR race in the last few years, there was a company that would travel around with a commercial track, and he would do, races on a commercial oval, and it was like Parma cars, whatever. And he would do these events at NASCAR events. The guy spent $30,000 a weekend. Do you have any idea how much money you have to make to justify spending $30,000 just for the privilege of setting up a slot car track at a real race, you have to make at least twice that amount on selling home set cars, track. Uh, People don't want to carry a huge slot car box home from a race. Yes, you can drop ship. Drop shipping has its own costs as well. We've worked through all this stuff. I had done this for years with Carrera, trying to skin this cat. And it's just profoundly expensive to market directly to racing fans. There's no easy way to do this. There's no easy way to reach people. It sounds easier than it actually is until you've actually done this, and I have. Anybody that does events will tell you pretty much the same story. It's a difficult thing to do, to try to reach the kids market, and there's really no easy way to do it. Back to some questions. Kevin says, same here in northern Colorado. Downtown, only one real hobby shop in Denver, between Denver and Cheyenne. Exactly. I mean, I have a train store here near me here in central Pennsylvania, and they sell a couple HO sets, maybe 2 different HO sets. I don't know that they even sell cars anymore. They sell a few plastic models, but mostly they sell trains. And I had tried for years. I mean, they're within 15 minutes of my house. I tried to get them for years to buy Scale or Carrera or whatever, and they just won't. It's, the train bias, I guess. I don't know. So motor museums. Yeah. I mean, Leslie asked, what about doing events in museums? I've done events at the Corvette Museum for years. We had been where's my credential for it? It's a pass. Here you go. Hanging, one right here. There you can kind of see it. It's for the Corvette Museum. This was the vendor badge that I wore for a few years. See if there's another one here I can pull out. Not really. I have done events every year for the Corvette Museum. Has annual events inside the museum. The museum is a big facility in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's where all of the Corvettes are made in the world. And I had done for, I think, 4 years in a row. I would do at least one event a year, usually their anniversary weekend, which is like August in Kentucky. And who doesn't want to go to Kentucky in August because it's 90,000 degrees and very, very humid. So highway slot. See you later, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Hello, Robert Bernhard. Hello, Mr. LEB. Yes, I know there's a delay. Sorry, can't help it. Yes. So the problem is when you're doing events. Again, it's the same problem when you're doing, like at the museum, at the Corvette Museum, when I would do events there. It's the same problem. People wouldn't want to buy a set at the Corvette Museum if they came in their Corvette. Interestingly, the last Corvette racing set we did, which the box was pretty big, it would fit in the package area in the back of a Corvette. Funny thing about that. Totally unplanned, by the way. So I would sell the Corvette Museum would stock sets. I would put up a track outside of it's like a kind of like a mall that they have where there's certain enclosed areas, and then there's a certain the store, and then there's like an atrium that's all enclosed in the middle. And I would put up a track every year. I would be one of the official vendors, and I would put up a track that they were actually selling. So I would put up the track exactly as it was shown on the box, and we would do races all day long for 4 days. And it was great. It was a lot of work doing them by myself, but it was a lot of fun. And I sold usually maybe between 8 and 12 sets each year when I would go there. And they would, the Corvette Museum would keep buying from us. So we'd sell, a few sets there, and some of them we would drop ship a set so someone didn't have to take it home in the car that they came in if they drove or if they flew. Not many people would fly in the Bowling Green for the events there, but some did. So it's really hard to do marketing at events where you can expose people. You expose people to the products, to the idea of slot car racing, and it's just really, really hard to get in front of people where they're willing to spend money. The big car shows, like there's a car show here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I mean, that's pretty much all they do at the fairgrounds there, or at the flea market grounds there, all year long after the snow goes away until the snow comes again in the fall. They do events at Carlisle, all car shows. And it's, if I was working for a company, I could go down and I could rent a tent and rent a space and put up slot cars and try to sell them onesie twosie, but it's a lot of work trying to sell slot cars that way. But that's, you have to do multiple kinds of ways of approaching people to sell slot cars. You have to do it digitally like LEB does. You have to do it in person if you can. If you can do it on TV, that's fantastic. But, all of these things cost money. If you're doing events where you're taking a track around, where you're putting up a track, you have to pay for travel, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for space, you have to pay for a tent and power, and space and a tent and a power are all different things. You have to pay for parking then. You have to pay the people to be there. You have to make at least twice what it costs to do an event. So there's no easy answer for any of this. That's why you just don't see, we're too big a country in a lot of ways to really do national marketing. The UK is tiny by comparison. You can drive across England, even at its widest point, probably in less than a day or a full day. You can't even drive across Texas in one day. Texas takes you an entire day to drive across. So that's one of the problems we have if you're trying to sell slot cars here in the US, is how do you market them to people? It's really, really, really hard. And despite what people think, there is no easy way to do this. Back to a couple questions. Which Plofit chassis were easier to get? I mean, there are plenty of places. Just do a search for Plofit or Playfit, and you'll find them. TV advertising works. It does not, Michael or Scott. I'm sorry. I had tried TV advertising with SCX. It doesn't work, and it's profoundly expensive. Is there a slot car video game? There have been slot car video games, yes. They did not go very well. Who else? Oh, let's see. Mr. LEB. Yes. Why? Robert Bernhardt says, Mr. LEB, by the way. He's the B in Bernhardt B. Get it? Why am I not in the garage? Because I can't. I need a Ethernet cord to go from my router, which is over there, to the laptop, which I can take out in the garage, so I can get a higher bit rate, so I can use my the internet sucks. That's the short answer. And I need a cable to plug into my laptop, and I couldn't get a cable. There are no cables available. I need about 100-foot cable. So I'm going to order a cable today, actually. When I'm done, I'm going to order a cable from Amazon, and I'm going to run it. I'm going to plug it into my router and just drag it out to my garage whenever I'm doing. I did want to do the stream outside today. I was thinking about doing it on my back porch, but my internet, to do a high resolution video, you need very fast internet. I need to be plugged in. That's why I'm not outside. So yes, I would very much like to be outside. Charles says, Charles Panella, you're having a problem with Carrera Digital. If you throw the question out there, I will be happy to answer the question if I can. Yes, so that's, I mean, it's, yes, Robert Bernhard would know why TV commercials don't work. Robert works for she and Lynn, who is the L in LEB. I mean, Robert is in the toy industry at a pretty high level, and he knows what the costs are. It just doesn't work, guys. Just doesn't work to do TV. That's what I'm talking about. I agree. I agree, Scott. I agree. Once people see digital, they want to race digital. I would only usually show digital when I would do events. I shared a video on my Facebook page today. If you all know, are friends with me on Facebook, you can see the video. It was from the last Quebec Auto Show that I did with my friend Brian, and I had a huge Carrera digital track put up so we could have 3 kids racing at a time. And when we showed digital to people, regardless of age, they wanted digital. And this is the big misconception that people think that it's mostly hardcore slot car guys that think that most people can't understand digital. That's BS. Most people get digital fairly easy. It is really not hard to set up. There's plenty of videos online. The people who are bigoted against digital generally will say, "Oh, it's too hard and I can't figure this out." And it's because they don't want to figure it out, right? That's really the answer. And it's just easy to say because they get a whole bunch of other slot racers to say, yeah, it's too hard. We're too old. Get off my lawn. The old man shouts at the clouds. When someone sees digital, even if they're an older guy or woman, whatever, and they have grandkids, why do they want digital? Because they don't want to only race 2 people at a time. They want to get all the grandkids on the track with them if they can. So if you can have 3, 4, 5, or 6 cars on a track at one time, why wouldn't you want to play with all of your grandkids at one time? You do. Digital is much easier to sell because you can race all the kids at one time. It's the service after the sale that becomes the issue. But if you have active people who are marketing people who know something about the products that they're selling, who can talk to people like I did endlessly for years, I've taken thousands and thousands of phone calls from people about how do I set up my digital track. It's just, you just have to have people in the country that can be spoken to in whatever home language it is, that people can reach easily, even on the weekends. It is not that hard to do. You just have to do it. It costs money. The companies have only pared back staff here in the U.S. Scale Electric is paring back staff. Carrera is pared back staff. Ninco doesn't even exist here anymore. Scx essentially doesn't even exist here anymore. As a company, I'm talking about, not as a staff I'm talking about. So, you have to have people in a country to do service after the sale, to support the market, or you're just not going to grow what you already have. Carrera has, they just don't have the people that they did. There's no one just doing marketing anymore. They're like I had done. There are people that are there that are salespeople who I assume can answer questions. Why am I getting my connection is unstable? That pisses me off, Verizon. That really pisses me off. Very cool. You have Scott says, we love digital. We have 3 BRM cars so far. That's excellent. Yes, Robert. Mr. Bernhard, Mr. LEB, mentions that Slot Invasion makes excellent digital chips. They do, and they have them in stock. Hashtag this is an ad. I appreciate it, Robert. I appreciate it. Robert, if you want to post a link, you haven't made a moderator here, so you are able to post links now, Robert. So feel free to post a link to LEB for the chips you're talking about, and there you go. I don't know if they support Ghost Cars. I don't have a Carrera digital track put up at the moment. I don't have the pieces anymore. I got rid of them, and it's been difficult for me to answer Carrera digital questions because the guys that like to say that I'm wrong jump all over me, and frankly, I'm sick of it. So I don't really have much of an interest in doing any Carrera digital videos anymore. Because it's a little annoying, frankly, to be told constantly you're wrong when I've been told these things by the folks at Carrera. And if you don't want to believe me, fine, don't believe me. Anyway, you're scared of ghost cars. Sean Maloney says he's scared of ghost cars. Don't be scared of ghost cars, Sean. They're friendly ghost cars. There you go, Robert. Thank you very much. Pace car is a pace car, Leslie, is a car that you can call it out or call it back in by pushing the button to call it in or out. There's a function in the Carrera digital system. So a ghost car will just go around the track until you essentially take it off. It's not meant to be sent out or pulled in. It's just mainly meant to be a car that just goes out, goes around the track. A pace car is a car that's meant to sit on the track at one of the pit stops, and you can call it out when you want to, and then it'll go back into the pit lane when you recall it in the system and take it back into the pit lanes. So there's a big difference. Yep. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Please don't be afraid of any ghosts. You're going to call Ghostbusters. That's what you're going to do. You will see a little bit of rumor and innuendo here for you. Shh, I'll whisper it. I'm only telling this to you. It's just between me and you. You will see a Ghostbusters Ecto-1. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yes, in 1/32 scale. I'm not saying any more. I'm not saying any less. You heard it here first. I'll get that when I'm done. You have an Ecto-1. You don't have one that's out of the box. Anyway, don't go everywhere. Okay, good. Ghost cars are spooky. Who are you going to call? You're not going to call me. Well, you can. My phone number is out there, and I frankly don't mind people calling me. It's easier to answer questions most of the time on the phone than it is in an email. Scott NSR. Scott says, I'm reading back the question from the chat. Scott says, I really wish NSR would do 1/32 scale or 1/24 scale. I'm terrible at this. Let me read this again. The question is, I really hope 1/24 scale. Hope NSR does them soon. They won't be doing them soon. They do a small selection of 1/32 scale cars, and they do a bunch of different liveries on those cars. Don't expect them to do 1/24 scale anytime soon. Having said that, now watch, they'll start doing them. I really doubt it. I wouldn't want them to spread themselves too thin. They're not that big a company. I really would prefer that they stay with 1/32 scale. There are 1/24 scale cars out there you can buy. Jubs Hub. Hello, Jubs Hub. Not a name I recognize. Asks about tuning tips. Yes. The best tuning tip is clean your damn tires. How do you clean your damn tires, you ask? With a packing label, with tape. You can clean them with Scotch tape. Paper tape is best. You take the sticky side and roll the tape on your tires. When you see black stuff come off on your hand, no, on the tape, that means that the tires are still dirty. You keep rolling rawhide, and get those tires nice and clean. Put the car back on your track, and that car will be faster. Packing labels are really the easiest way to, because they have an adhesive side and it's not super sticky. Or paper tape is really good for cleaning tires as well. A lint roller is the best. You can get lint rollers fairly cheaply. LINT roller. Yes, for cleaning off your clothes. That's the best way to clean your tires. That is my top tuning tip for the week and forever. Clean your damn tires. There you go. Clean your track. Windex. Yes, Robert suggests Windex. But if you do Windex, what I would do is, and this is not Windex, but it's similar. This is for cleaning glasses for old people like myself. Take the Windex, give yourself a spritz, just a little spritz, on the cloth. Then wipe your track down. Don't do the spritz on the track first, because it'll get into everything, whatever. You just want to clean off the surface of your track. So give a spritz and then wipe it down. That's the best thing you should do. That's the easiest way. You can clean it off with a microfiber cloth, clean it off with a paper towel, but a paper towel will put a certain amount of lint down, but it won't really put much down if it's damp. A microfiber cloth, like a lens cloth, is what I would suggest. You're going to have to wash this fairly often. You can get microfiber cloths at your local Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Dollar whatever you got in your area. That's probably your best bet for track cleaning, is Windex on the cloth, and then wipe the damp cloth, onto the track. What's in the box? Holy jumping crap-a-dapula. What's in the box indeed, folks? That's right. Yes, get the cat hair off you. I don't have a cat. I wish I had a cat. Desperately would like a cat. My wife and my son are allergic. Can't have cats. Hey, look. It's a C7R from Carrera in 1/43rd scale. That's the first car in the box. I really like these cars, but the problem is, and I showed this when I showed the compact cars. The compact cars are a lot better models than this little guy, because they don't have this crazy nose on here that we all know is wrong. So there we go. What else we got in the box? Yes, Scott, there's a lot of good answers that the LEB folks can give you. I'm in touch with them regularly. So if they don't have the answer, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But then between the two of us, we'll get you an answer. Urethane replacements are good. They are. Another 1/43rd scale Carrera. This is a Porsche, and this doesn't have a guide pin either. That's unfortunate. It doesn't have the awful upturned nose. This is a really nice little model. So there you go. Second car in the box. Third car in the box. This is an SCX Volvo. You got to be careful when you say Volvo. This car, yes, I know I'm 6 years old. This car has super tires on the back. I've probably raced this car at my club at some point. This car has a weight in here. This car has a 42B in here. It's got a rocking pod that I believe I may have glued down. Uh-oh. It's windy out there. Hey, Clem. Is Clem here? Did someone just say Clem? Clem, yes. Hello, Gotham. Cheers. Yes, so that's the next car in the box. These SCX Volvos, let me tell you, have a seat. Take a load off. These SCX Volvos were a really great model of a car. Maybe one of the best most accurate representations of a car in 1/32 scale that I've seen. These cars drove really well. They mostly came, I think, with the RX-42 in them, which was a nice mild motor, about a 14 to 16,000 RPM motor. Not a fast motor, but a nice mild motor. These cars went really, really well. There was a few of these cars that were available before they stopped making them. It's a beautiful car. It's a really beautiful car. Love the Volvo. Me too. This is an SCX Porsche body. This car was probably using the chassis for another project. So you can see this is another nice model of a Porsche. SCX really does nice bodies. This Porsche, I remember, actually was they got the CAD files from Porsche. So this actually is an actual Porsche, just in 1/32 scale. It is an excellent representation of a 911. Looks really awesome. Another compact, or sorry, Go. I wish it was compact. Viper. This little guy. This is one of my favorite cars that Carrera made. I really, really dearly wished that they had made this in 1/32 scale. If Robert is still here from LEB, the LEB just did get the only commercially available Viper still in commercially available from Scale Auto. They got two different Scale Auto Vipers. I'm hoping that I get one as a sample soon. They have a Grease Monkey Garage, and they have one that's like an American flag. They both look gorgeous. The Viper, probably this version of the Viper, I don't know, this is like I guess probably the second gen body. I'm not really great about that. I'm sorry. Yes, Scale Auto Gas Monkey, exactly. Yes, Volvo, not Vol. No, not going there. So yes, there is a new or there is available from LEB now, a Viper with excellent gears under it, excellent performance in 1/32 scale, available now at a nice price from LEB. LEB supports me. Please support them. We have a pair of Carrera Minis in 1/43 scale. Oh, don't drop the box, dummy. Okay, there we go. Pair of Carrera 143 Minis. These little guys are beautiful little cars. They really did a nice job with this body as well. This is the Gen 1 Mini Cooper. I have the Gen 2 modern Mini Cooper in real life. Yes, there are the Scale Auto cars are close to NSR. I would think they would be comparable performance-wise. So if you like NSR, go ahead, take a chance on a Scale Auto. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. They really, really go. NASCAR, not touring cars anymore. Yes, they're not exactly touring cars, but they're sedans. I don't know well, not sedans. They're big hunks of whatever. They're more. Don't get me started. More Carrera 1/43 scale Porsches. I really love these little guys. There you go. Bless you, LEB. Exactly. Bless you, LEB. They really support the heck out of me. They should, and they're good folks. This Carrera was probably, unfortunately, one of the worst selling cars that I thought would sell really, really well. They did dune buggies. I'll have it against my shirt here so you can see it nicely. They did really, really excellent, detailed dune buggies. These things were some of the biggest clunkers of slot cars maybe ever made. I'm not exaggerating. Nobody wanted these. I thought these were freaking brilliant. They look really fun. They go okay. And yet, When we sold these, when I was at Carrera, we had to essentially give them away. The last couple, hundred or whatever, nobody wanted these. Now I'm sure you couldn't touch one of those with whatever. Um, SCX body and aero body. Oh, everything going okay, Karen? Okay, just wanted to say hi. I heard my wife go by. Just wanted to see if everything was okay. Yes, Robert Bernhardt says it took him 3 years, 3 years to sell. I'll hold it against my shirt again so you can see it. It took him 3 years to sell these little dune buggies. Really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. Um, I really, really, the dune buggies are sweet. They are sweet. They're an awesome little toy. SCX Aero Body, the fastest. Yes, exactly. Area 51. Holy shnikes. The Aero Body is the fastest NASCAR slot car made. It has a long guide lead. It's got a very far forward guide, which makes it more stable than a COT body. Unfortunately, when they made the Pro cars, they would not make the Pro aero body because the aero bodies were going out of style at that time, and NASCAR didn't want us to make those cars anymore. SCX still have this mold. Keep that in mind. SCX still have that mold. How about a 70s dune buggy? Did I or did I not just say that dune buggies don't sell? Did you listen? Sorry, just being an idiot. They don't sell. It would make no sense for anybody to make them. Here is a 1/43rd scale Carrera. This is not a slot car. This is a radio controlled car. Do I have the controller in here? No. Why would I? This is a radio controlled car. These little cars work very well. They don't have much of a... can I show a 124 scale car? I mean, I can. I don't have one handy. I'm just showing what's in the box. This is a big box. There are no 124 scale cars in here. Sorry. Why doesn't anyone have a 510 Datsun? Because only 2 or 3 were raced ever, and you can't make money from a car that was only raced in 2 or 3 or 4 different liveries. Sorry. That's how it... bring out Captain Carrera. Hey now, this is a family stream. So this is a 1/43rd scale Carrera RC car, as you see here. Of course, it's an RC car, so it's steering. I don't know where the controller is for this little guy, but I gotta find that. Yes, I know. 510. Everyone thinks 510 sell until they release a 510 and no one will buy it. This is... I believe this was maybe the first SRC 914. These cars were really, really... you want one to replace your B sedan. I'm not really sure which car you're talking about, Robert. But anyway, this, I think, was the first 914 that they did. It went okay. The SRC is a different company now. This is a Sidewinder with a plastic gear. Basically, this went like a fly car. It was okay. Yes, amateurs do race 510s, but there just aren't that many 510 liveries available. It's a car I've suggested a number of times, but there's a number of cars above that I would really like to see get made, specifically certain years of Mustang that I know would sell better than a Datsun 510 ever would. This is a Peugeot. Oh, your Datsun. Yeah, you have a 510. You have a 510 sedan, Robert. That's really cool. I'm gonna have to come down and see that at some point as well. This is a Peugeot. Trying to say it right. 908 FAP from SCX. This was, I believe, one of the cars that didn't really. There were some of the blue cars didn't really make it to the U.S. I think it was the number 8. I have the number 8 as well, I think, and that one was a mistake car. There was a whole story behind that. Anyway, this is a Peugeot 908. For those of you that are new to the hobby, meaning in the last 5 years, you haven't had a chance to buy one of these, unfortunately. This was one of the coolest LMPs to see in real life. I actually have a signed poster here on my wall. So yeah, there you go. Peugeot 908, one of the coolest LMPs, and SCX did a beautiful job on this car. This car went like stink. It's got SCX Pro wheels on the back and big old super tires on there. Car really goes up. Whoa, we got a lot of cars in here. Holy crap. Hey, another Carrera. No, boy. Carrera Mustang that fell apart. Carrera Digital Mustang. Love the 908. Oh, yes, the other 908s, yes. They are very cool. Carrera Mustang in parts. I don't know why this car is in here and not sold to somebody. I need to. A lot of cars I'm trying to. LMP proxy being discussed on HRW. Great. I'm a big fan of proxies. Oh, look. I had totally forgotten I had this Mosler. I think someone gave me this Mosler. I had no idea I had this Mosler. Huh. NSR Mosler. This is an older one. Hold on. NSR Mosler from a few years ago. Mosler, as I mentioned in the recent past, easily one of the fastest slot cars available. Yes, the red 908. Yes, it looks really good. The NSR one. This is a, what is this, a 110 Abarth? Abarth 1000. And this has an RX41 motor in it. That means that this motor is about a 14,000 RPM motor. These cars are some of my favorite little cars. This is one, I'm probably going to try one of these in a BRM because I really like the fact that the motor is open here. And the tail, the boot cover, actually did provide the car downforce in real life. And SCX did a nice job with these little cars. They sounded a little like they're like a bucket of bolts going around the track. But if you did a little bit of work on them and got the gears to mesh a little better, these cars are really nice little models. I really like these. Hey, Salvatore. Car should be on a track and in a box. The problem is, Leslie says the car should be on a track and in a box. When you have as many cars as I have, you can't put them all on track at once. I have hundreds and hundreds of cars. I don't even know how many cars. This is a Mini Cooper 143rd RC car from Carrera. This actually is a prototype because I was given a few of these. I think the Porsche is as well. I was given a few of these and then I never saw them again because the company let me go. They released these and we had these as samples for Toy Fair in New York, and I got the samples and they stayed at my house. So after the show. So there you go. So Carrera 143rd scale radio control Mini. Put that right next to the Porsche. This is a Carrera. Boy, I've done a lot of work to this guy. I got to get this guy out and race it. This is a Carrera 458 Italia, the really good. There we go. Yes, it's what's in the box. This is 458 Italia Ferrari, the Risi Competizione car. You know, the most iconic car livery, rather, racing in North America. This car has slotting plus wheels on the front, and it has big old spongies. Yeah, big old spongies on the back. I think these might actually be NSR spongies. Check that out. And this has got a Carrera chassis, but a Blue Hawk motor. And I wasn't giving you the finger there. Sorry. And it's had a replacement guide. So this is a slotted guide with SCX Pro braid, and it's got the CG design guide holder in it. So it's got a real guide, not that nasty thing from Carrera. This car has been set up to race at my club, and I've done a little bit of racing with it. These cars, that's a pretty good car. Here you go. Here is an example of why you don't do certain street cars as 1/43 or as any kind of car, because then someone comes up with this livery and they think it looks okay. This is a Carrera Go car. This is a slot car. Terrible selling car, even at $20. Yeah, tuner car. I'm sure the car went okay, but yeah, not a great looking car. I don't know why I saved it, but there you go. What else do we have here? This big honking thing. Goodness gracious me. This is a Carrera. Do I have the wing? I do not. This is a Carrera F1 car, and I've replaced the rear tires with these are probably quick super tires on the back with the hard edge. I probably use this car for events, maybe the Formula One race in Montreal. One of the last years where they actually did liveries on F1 cars, because as you've heard in many of my videos, it is too costly to keep doing liveries on cars. This is an SCX car, a BMW Sauber with a steerable front end. Before you ask, no, it doesn't help. This car has an RX-42 B motor in it. It has a replacement slotted rear end in it, which is the wrong color, red. Not red in it. Well, so keep in mind that the webcam is not really. So this car is very red. It looks orange here, or salmon color. It's a deep red. It's the right color, trust me. So this is an SCX Formula One Sauber BMW from years and years and years ago. And like I said, it has a slotted replacement rear end in it. So it's got slotted wheels, slotted axle, slotted gear, and it just dropped right in. You could do that with those cars. And this car went okay. It's got Pro braid on the front, because SCX Pro braid is the best braid you can buy. If you still can find it today, buy it up. Buy it up, buy it up. SCX Morgan. These cars did not go very well. They didn't sell very well either. The Morgan, in real life, I really like these cars. The model is nice. The performance is adequate. For some reason, these cars did not sell very well. I don't know why. Anyway, if you like to contribute, buy me a coffee. That's the best way to tip. I get the most percentage that way, and I'm thinking about buying new camera at some point, and I'm saving my money, and that's a great way to support the stream. There we go. This car has a SCX Pro replacement back axle. Hello, Blue Goo. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the $5 tip. Thank you very much. It's got super tires on the back. It's got SCX Pro wheels. There we go. You can see the wheel inserts there. So, and it has a blue slotted crown gear. Or actually, this is an SCX crown gear. And despite my best efforts, this car is kind of a dog. You can see the guide is kind of far back in the yes, I know there's a that's perfectly fine, guys. You don't have to tip. It's very much appreciated. Don't feel obligated to tip. It's only if you want to. I appreciate anybody that does. The guide is pretty far back on this car, As you can see, it's kind of in between the front wheels. So the performance on this car is not great, despite what you did despite what you do to try to make the car a little faster. It is not great. Scx Alpine. These cars went really well. This, oh boy, this car has a Pro motor in it. This has an RX42E motor. The RX42E motor means that this is a 21,000-ish RPM motor. That was the Pro motor. The E motor was a fast motor. Not a lot of brakes, but the Scx cars do have a fair amount of brakes because of the gearing. These little Alpines, Alpine A110, were a beautiful little model. Very, very high quality detail on there. And yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful car. Scx did a bang up job with these cars. We're almost done with the box, guys. We're down to only a couple cars in the box. That's right, because Americans don't know what they are. Man, what are you going to do? This is a 155, right? Am I right? Before anybody comments about me being wrong. It is $131. An Abarth 131. These cars go really well. This is an Scx car. As you can see, it does have a pod. I happen to remember this has got the 4-post type of pod. So there's kind of a knot, like a post in this side, post in this side, a post in the top, and a post in the bottom. So it's not a tilting rocker pod. So it's got a little bit of different kind of performance. This car has lights. It has excellent detail. It's got a solid front axle, as you can see there. And does it have Pro braid? It does not, but the braid's been rewrapped. That means at one point I had raced this car. Almost down. Hey, Scott, thank you very much for showing up. Not last and not least. This is, let me get back here so it's a little more in focus. This is one of the first Fly slot. When Fly came back into the market, they released re-released a bunch of molds. This is a 917 Longtail from Fly Slot. There you can see this is a virtually unrun car. The braid hasn't ever been fluffed. That's what she said. It still has the stock motor, still has the magnet in there. Basically an unrun car. I forgot why I got it and didn't run it. Maybe because it's beautiful. I don't know. Fly did an okay job with the 917s. As you know, a 917, if you know the car, hey, Stuart, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. 917s don't have a headlight directly over one another. It's kind of offset. It's not a fully stacked headlight. So the nose should be a little wider than they are. Also, as you look down the car, there should be more curves. The car should be a lot more feminine in appearance, I guess you'd say. A lot more curvy here and there, because the 917s in real life were very curvy. Now, a pièce de résistance. One of my favorite car companies that you can no longer get cars for anymore. This is, I believe this is the Acura. Yes, it's the Acura by Ninco. This is the Lightning Edition, or it has the Lightning Edition chassis. This was a translucent chassis and the big block motor. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you very much for showing up. So these cars, the Ninco cars, were, unfortunately, before they got taken out of the U.S. market, were quite expensive. The performance was good, especially when you had the Lightning versions, when you had the cars with all metal gears, metal wheels, the good rear crown gear, the better guide system. Well, the guides were about the same. Yeah, so basically the Lightning cars were the higher quality, the racing versions. These cars were, I think this might have been a $90 car. For a car without a pod, keep in mind, NSR really wasn't around then as much. Ninco was like the fastest, or some of the fastest. Um, send me my number. Oh, about the network issues. No problem. No problem. Um, yeah, so this car was really nice car. I really wish Ninco was still around. Um, Ninco, unfortunately, I've had conversations with somebody who was in conversations with Ninco fairly recently. Ninco is uninterested in making Ninco in their current form are uninterested in making any old cars anymore. That is the end of what's in a box. Yes, Richard, I agree. The touring cars that Ninco did were absolutely fantastic. The quality was really nice. The molds were really nice. The shapes on the cars were really nice. Ninco cars were known to be a little wider than Scale, but that's okay. I mean, I think we realize what we missed now that we don't have Ninco anymore. Anyway, guys, thanks to the 77 people that stopped by, that are still here. Thanks for the likes. Please, guys, give the stream a thumbs up if you want to donate. I know I've mentioned this a few times now, but what are you going to do? The stream is definitely a little bit labor intensive, definitely gear intensive, and I'm trying to increase quality here and there. And if you just generally speaking feel like donating, there you go, through the Did I Find Captain Carrera. I thought I actually had a Captain Carrera here next to my desk. Now that I think about it, I don't. Damn. Anyway. Hey, Mario. Anyway, guys. Cheers, guys. I really appreciate everybody stopping by, for all the likes, all the shares, all the comments in the chat. I hope if you're watching the chat on a playback, you can see the chat replay. I enable chat replay in every one of the video on demands. If it's not there, I'm sorry. I hope the quality of the video has been better today because I plugged in to my internet connection. The internet connection looks like it's a little better. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. See you all very soon. I do plan to do a track test of the NSR Trio, the Triple Martinis. I will be doing a track test of those tomorrow. So watch for that video Monday or Tuesday. See you again soon.